Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Raina Hazleen Noor Suhendra. Here, I want to present a material about fake news that often happens on the internet or social media. And the material is definition, history, types of fake news, the cause, the example, and how to avoid it. The definition is fake news or hoax is news that has no truth and can be mislead anyone who read it if not respond wisely. And next, I will tell about the history of fake news. The word hoax, known and used in England in the 18th century, precisely at the same time as the publication of the book, a glossary or collection of words, phrase, name, and allusion to costumes, written by Robert Nurse. He wrote about the origin of the word hoax. According to him, hoax comes from the word hocus and hocus pocus. According to him, hocus pocus is a spell chanted by magicians. The word hocus pocus is taken from the name of one of the famous Italian magicians, Hocus Pocus, then used by magicians for performance in their tricks. According to Robert, hoax are fake news made to be funny, and in addition, hoax are also deliberately created and hoax aims to confuse recipients of information with the intention of entertaining in the form of jokes. Over time, the word hoax is increasingly known and developed from a joke to a rather serious joke. And next is types of fake news. The first one is satire. Satire is a content that is intentionally created by someone. This type of content is widely used to be satires curtain parties. In addition, the content of this type of satires is also made as a form of criticism. The criticism that can be conveyed can be in personal relationship, group within group, or to criticize issues that often occur in society. Satire content is actually not entirely dangerous content, but many people are fooled and think that it is new. That is 100% true. And the second one is misleading content. This type of content is intentionally created to vilify someone or something. The things raised in the content can also involve one person or many people. This type of content is created to lead public opinion. Misleading content created by exploiting genuine information. The information can be in the form of official statements, pictures or photo, statistics, and others. The information will be edited in such a way so that the information with the content to be created has no relationship. Next is imposter content. This content is created to deceive, and the information content in this type of content is usually taken from the correct information. For the example, setting a famous or influential figure. This type of content is not only made of personal use. A lot of this type of content is created to promote something. And next is fabricated content. This hoax content is a very dangerous type of content. This content is created to deceive people. Many are also harmed because of fake content like this. The information that is available cannot be accounted for. The fact contained in the information are not true. For the example that often occurs in this type of content is a job vacancy information. On behalf of a company or institution, job vacancy information is made to resemble the originals. And the last one is false content. It is said to be wrong or false because it contains incorrect information. For the example of this content, like include a statement, video, or photo that has happened before. Then the incident was rewritten and not adjusted to the actual facts. And the next slide, we will talk about the causes of many fake news. Hoax is a news that is intentionally created by irresponsible people. Many factors that are the reason why there are many hoax news. The first reason is the limited knowledge of the outside world. It also has many factors, such as the limitation of the news obtained and the limitation of the media to receive the news. And, and often when you get a news, reader only reads part of the information. In fact, many only read to headlines that will cause that reader not to retain the news they get and think it is true. And the lesson is many people find it difficult to distinguish fake news. Many from the news because they often see the news appearing on social media, so they are lazy to look for the truth gain. And next, the examples of the fake news in Indonesia. The first one is hoax and chain message. Contains something that must be passed on the others. There are comments and myths added to this message. If someone who gets this message doesn't pass it on, it's bad luck. And next is hoax urban legend. This hoax contains news that contains spooky information. For the example, places that smell mystical or seems sacred. Furthermore, the information contained in the news is prohibiting readers from visiting it. This will result in economic losses for the person concerned. And the third, hoax get a prize. Another example is a hoax containing news or receiving free gifts. This hoax as often happen. Sometimes, even top readers don't experience material loss, they can be deciphered by filling out consent survey. The impact will be even greater if the victim fills in his or her identity completely. And next is hoax sad story. This hoax contains the sad story of someone who has bad luck, usually about someone who is sick or in an accident that asks for help in the form of funds. And next is hoax defamation. This hoax is widely circulated on social media, contains facts about someone who are deceased. The impact of this hoax is the contamination of the person's name. And the last one is virus hoax. This hoax is related to technology, contains about the spread of viruses on smartphones, computers, or laptops. And next slide is how to avoid fake news. And they are pay close attention to the headline. The first thing to read in your news story is the title. Therefore, look at the title of the news that can be obtained. Is it in accordance with the information contained in the news or not? Next is be careful if it contains element of provocation. One of the elements in house news is the element of provocation. Provocation is an act to arouse anger, an act of instigating or an act of provocation. If a news or content contains things that contains element of provocation, then the news must be watched out for. See where the news source is. Is it true that information can be obtained from anywhere? However, looking at the source of the information obtained is also important. As readers, we must always be observant and see the authenticity of the news source we receive. Check the fact of the information in the news. If the information in the news is obtained contains a fact, that we need to re-examine that fact. Check the fact contained in the information. The trick is to look for other reliable sources. Recheck photos or video. In the news, Sometimes someone insert a photo or video, and the photo or video is also needs to be verified again. Can the photo or video shown be authentic, or they just a news sweetener? And last one is think critically. When you get news or information, try to think critically. Don't immediately swallow the news that is there. Look first at the content of the news and the logic of the news. I think that's all of the material that I can present. Thank you for listening carefully. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.